Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and I have a diamond in the rough for you guys and me today. His name is Micah Cretsinger. He is a linebacker out of Saginaw Valley State. Nice to have you, sir.
Appreciate you having me on.
I'm thinking these days we're getting a little bit of a pipeline of talent coming out of Saginaw Valley State. I remember a couple of years ago, Trevor Nowaski, talking to him and interviewing him, and you're the next guy up, man. Next guy who's most likely going to get to the NFL someday. So I mean, we best get to know you. So let's go ahead and do that. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll get started.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Micah Cretsinger. I'm a linebacker at Saginaw Valley State. I can do a little bit of everything. I'm versatile. Can play off ball, on ball. Just check the tape. I'm a very humble guy. I love doing what I do, and I'm a baller. So that's what I like.
Gotcha. So, Mike, I have in my notes from Jackson, Michigan. Went to Jackson High School, and in addition to football, did some basketball and track in your days. So, take us back to the beginning, man. Take us back to your high school days, and talk a little bit about that time, man. Any memories you want to share?
Well, basketball is my first love. So even before high school, I always wanted to be a basketball player. But then in middle school, eighth grade, I kind of realized that I wasn't gonna grow into my feet. Um, I was like, I'm gonna have to be a point guard. I was like a three or a four that back then. So I just realized I'm more of a football player and I had more of a football build. But yeah, I love basketball. Uh, I was more physical because I had the body type and the frame, to get in the paint, grab rebounds. I was a lockdown defender. So yeah, I mean, I love basketball. I love the hype around it. I love everyone being close to you and hearing all the cheers and the boos and everyone's trash talking on the sideline. So I always love that part of it. Um, but I was actually an all state long jumper in track. I only did it my senior year, but um, yeah, I was an all state long jumper. I was a sprinter for all 4 years, but yeah, I only jumped my last year, but I was an all stater that year. I would have been seventh um, in the state, regardless of division. So, but yeah, I was lucky to be all state guy.
Pretty nice. I was thinking, just kind of looking at those at that information in my notes. I mean, being a guy who's a linebacker, it's very rare that you see them as track athletes. Maybe perhaps not like as a thrower, but as a runner, that's a completely different thing. I mean, and you're doing sprints. You're running 111 seconds. You're running to 200. You're long jumping and all this other stuff. I mean, and having a good go at it, like you said, being an all-state athlete in track and field, which, uh, dude, hey, if you would have jumped earlier, who knows how that would have went. So, as you were going from high school to college, I mean, was there perhaps anybody recruiting you like in track or just football?
Nah, I was just a football guy. Like I was lucky to get the couple offers I got from football, but nah, no one from track looked out for me.
Well, hey, maybe they just kind of thought that you were going to be a football player anyways. So,
They saw the frame and they were like, he's probably too
yeah.
bulky to run.
So, and you mentioned there, basketball being one of your, first loves, of course. And so where does that come from, man? Are you like a Pistons fan or something? Like what's your fan base there?
Man, I'm really a Bron fan. Like I love LeBron's that guy. So yeah, I love watching him dominate. You want to be able to jump 50 inches and get your head on the rim and have all these block shots and look all athletic like he did. So I wanted to model my game kind of like that, even though I wasn't 6'8", but yeah, I mean that guy was just always competitive and always ferocious, and I loved the way he played. So that was kind of like my inspiration. But yeah, I also am a Pistons fan though, so I wish we were a little bit better in that aspect. But yeah, I like
Yeah,
them too.
I kind of figured as much. I mean, again, being a guy from Michigan, landing obviously at Saginaw Valley, kind of a hometown kind of guy. So, I mean, I kind of felt like that was probably going to be the fan base for you. So, um, cool. So, obviously, it's football. You didn't grow into that basketball body that we talked about. You grew into this nice frame of a linebacker, that being about 6'1", 240 pounds, ending up there at Saginaw Valley. So, talk about Saginaw for people that maybe aren't as familiar with it, man. What makes it so special for you?
Well, for me, I enjoy small school experiences. It was like a very homey feeling. A lot of guys, want the big popularity and want to go to bigger schools, and I was cool with that. I was fine with that, but when I took my visit to Saginaw, I really felt like the impact that the football team had in the community, as well as on the campus. Everyone knows who you are, so um, yeah, I really like that homey feeling, that everyone knows everyone, and the spaces, like the classroom spaces, are like really nice and really small, so you get to know your teachers and all your professors really well. I have good relationships with all my professors still, so I like that feeling a lot.
Cool. And come to find out, you recently graduated with exercise science, I think you said. And so you got that. And then, of course, we got one more season left to go of you there before you, obviously pursue your dreams of being in the NFL. Again, we talked about Saginaw as being one of these programs that is able to produce talent. And I'm sitting here thinking again, like I spoke to Trevor Nowaski a couple years ago. Can you kind of talk about maybe perhaps that relationship and his impact on you being the linebacker that came before you?
Yeah, I mean, that's where a lot of my like my play style come from, was watching him play, and even before him was Victor Abraham and Tim K. Glass. So when those three are on the field, like all those guys were super impactful in everything they did. Victor was able to get the ball out. Tim was a good coverage guy, and then Trev kind of had the combination of both. Um, but yeah, all those, like especially Trev, like all those guys instilled confidence in me when I was a young guy. I wasn't playing a lot. I had to sit behind all those guys. But yeah, like I mean, two of them ended up becoming pros at one point. Trev's still in the with the Cardinals, so he played a big impact on me. We were best friends. We stayed up here all summer together, and so his last year, and yeah, I mean that's one of my guys, one of my friends, man, and that's where it got me where I am today. So I thank him a lot.
Gotcha. And of course, like you were saying, I mean, you are the guy there on that defense. I mean, you are the guy who's taking over that role. But they're playing you a little bit everywhere, man. I mean, they're playing you inside and outside, and you're making a hell of a lot of plays. Last year was a phenomenal year for you. You go out there, you have a ton of tackles, 100 tackles. And then dude, you end up having not only 8 interceptions, but 4 pick sixes. Uh, Phenomenal year, man. Just talk about it real quick.
Man, I just gotta give the glory to God. I mean, um, without him and his blessings, man, I'm not where I'm at. So that I got to start with that. But I mean, that season is, you know, people dream to have 3 4 picks in their career, but I was lucky to have as many as I had. But I just put myself in positions to make plays on the ball. I feel like anytime anyone tries me, like any quarterback wants to try my zone or my man, like I feel like I got to make them pay. I want to make sure that my side of the field is like completely covered. Corners get locked down island, and everyone's a one on one out there. So I feel like if the corner's doing his job, blocking his man down, and I'm locking my man or my zone down, like the quarterback can't even look our way. So we got the deep zone cover, we got the intermediate zone cover. So yeah, I just want to make quarterbacks pay, man. And so uh, luckily I had the return ability too. So I'll take a couple of them back to the house. So
4 of them. Uh, Let's just be real. Four. Most people don't get four interceptions, let alone four pick sixes. So awesome. Definitely quarterbacks need to not throw in your vicinity. That's something they need to learn because you could obviously not only get your hands on it, but take it to the house. So, and there's not a lot of people who obviously can catch you with the ball in your hands. Sitting here thinking, I mean, again, as a guy who can easily scamper down the field with the ball in his hands, like, you have any like, offense in your, arsenal or what?
Oh, for sure. I think I have the best hands on in Saginaw, at Saginaw Valley. So you can ask any of my teammates, any of my coaches. I always say I should be on the hands team. So when it matters most, I feel like I should be on there. But I did play running back, slot, wide receiver in high school. So, a little bit of that translated over. But like I say as a joke, like I was just a big slot. And most people don't believe me. And then they go look at my high school highlights and they're like, oh, he's really a big slot. So, but yeah, it ended up paying off. I got a couple touchdowns in my career. So it
Well,
paid off.
hey, all that stuff is great. I mean, Mike, I mean, I will tell you, I do feel like that separates you from the pack, just as a whole, as a guy who uh, can shut down the run and also drop back into coverage, man, and be a threat as a guy who, can obviously, get his hands on the ball. How do you get there, man? What's been your transition over the past few years of you being the guy who, was kind of waiting your turn to now being All-American, ready to do it once again this upcoming year?
Man, I think it's just patience and trusting your process. I mean, when I first got here, um, I was a safety in high school, and then I bumped up to linebacker. So being at safety, I was able to see everything top down. But then linebacker, you only see the front, and, a couple receivers and tight ends out to your side. So I think it was just trusting my process, learning how to play linebacker, learning that if I get certain depth in my zone, I'll be able to see everything clear. Um, had to work my front shoulder down, making sure I could get out of my transitions easier, and get out of my breaks easier. Um, but yeah, I think like it's just a process. It's not going to come over one day, a week, a month. Not it's going to take a couple of years, man. And so I just waited it out, and I kept playing my cards right, and I was lucky to be where I am right now.
So, Micah, with all that you were able to do last season, again, Saginaw Valley coming up short in the GLIAC, maybe not as successful as you would like as a team. What's it going to take for you guys to be in contention for, championships and titles and such this last season?
Man, I think it's going to take a full team effort. We got to be good on all three phases of the ball: offense, defense, special teams. But I think we got a really hungry team. We're a little bit young, but these young guys are super talented. We got talent everywhere: running back, receiver, all the offensive lines coming back. Basically, all the defense except for Mikey Ward is coming back, and so I think we just built a lot of confidence. Because there was a point where we were staring down the barrel. We were down. I think we had taken 3 losses in a row, and we could have just had been bad the rest of the season, but we won 5 out of our last 6, and so I mean that just shows how resilient this team is, and now another year of getting in the weight room and being together with the guys and just building up a lot of confidence, and so I think if we play sound defense, um, trust the run game, trust the quarterbacks to throw the ball down the field. I mean, sky's the limit. Special teams like really just takes a full team game to win every time. And so you got to trust the little things on all three levels. And so I feel like we have that ability to do that this year.
Gotcha. Well, Micah, let's kind of zone in a little bit on you as a player who's expecting great things this year and then of course beyond. So, we're looking at this guy. He's checks a lot of boxes, right? So I think one of the main criticisms, and get ready for this question because it might be a tough one. One of the main criticisms is that he's a small school guy. That's a hard thing to hear. How do you take that criticism, and what do you have to say to the naysayers out there?
Man, if you can ball, you can ball. I mean, we there are a lot of small school guys that they say he's too small or he can't run fast enough. He hasn't seen enough competition. But once you get an opportunity, it all takes one team for it to see your potential and see what that person can do. I want to just be able to show that I'm versatile. I can play up on the line of scrimmage. I can play back. Like, yeah, I get I'm a small school guy, but that's a chip on my shoulder I love to have. So. Um, for all the naysayers out there, man, just gotta give me a chance. Because once we get there, it's a level playing field. I got there somehow. So yeah.
Mike, I'm gonna be real with you though. You go out there this upcoming year, you put up similar numbers that you did last year. And dude, you're gonna, the sky is the limit, man. I mean, obviously you go out there, dominate the run and pass and make all these plays all over the, all over the field and become all-American once again. And dude, who knows? I mean, maybe an all-star team's going to be knocking on your door. Maybe you're going to have an opportunity, maybe even get drafted. Has any of that sunk in yet as a possibly one of the best D2 athletes that could have that opportunity?
I mean, it has passed my view and a couple times, but I just know I gotta keep the main thing the main thing. I gotta keep balling. I still gotta you know perform this season. I'm not saying that I can't do it. Of course, I got confidence that I can do it again, but I don't look at the numbers too much. I don't want to look at the numbers too much. Let me say that. Um, but yeah, I mean, sky's the limit for me, and I know I have a great opportunity in front of me, and I just want to make sure that I'm staying humble and I'm making sure I'm working every day and trusting my process because something went good. So just keep trusting it, keep trusting the people around me and my circle and stuff. And so yeah, I mean, I know what opportunities in front of me, but yeah, I'm just trying to keep it the main thing, and stay focused.
Dude, that's fine. So yeah, the main thing, winning some games is really right now what it's all about. And I think you're in good position though, overall. Mike, I do want to take a little bit of time just to kind of meet you outside of football. If there's anything else that you want to share about yourself, whether it be your interests, hobbies, passions, anything else that you want to share with people that you think people would like to know. So give me something interesting.
Man, I'll start off with a fun fact. Fun fact: I've been able to travel to 5 different continents. The only continents I haven't been to are South America and Antarctica.
You gonna
My
make it
parents,
to Antarctica this year?
I don't know. I don't know that one might have to stay off the list. But no, I for sure want to go to South America at some point. Say I've been to at least 6. So, um, but yeah, my parents were missionaries. They took us around since I was born, and we traveled till I was 13. So as soon as I started middle school, I mean, I was in the United States full time, but we come back for 6 months and then we leave and be gone for a year and a half, come back for 6 months furlough. So, I mean, I've been everywhere, but I think that was one of like the most eye opening things for me was just being able to see different cultures and how different people live day to day. It's humbled me because I've been able to see the worst. I've been able to see some good. Um, but yeah, uh, that's an experience because not a lot of people can say they've done that. So
So for a guy who's been and witnessed a whole lot of cultures, you have like a favorite like cultural cuisine, whether it be like, Mexican, Chinese, whatever, like what would you say would be one of your faves?
man, that's a tough question. I had some good. I love jollof rice. So, I mean, I have a friend here who's from Africa, and his mom makes some really good jollof rice. But when we were in Africa, I mean, you could get that anywhere. So I mean, that's one of my go tos when I was there. So
I get that one a lot from my Nigerian friends, man.
yeah, exactly.
That's something that they swear by. So cool. Just kind of looking at our time, do need to sort of wrap up. I mean, Micah, it's been fun getting to know you. I mean, I know that you got a lot going on. You have a great season ahead of you, and then a lot of other things beyond that. Um, as we close up, tell all these people what to expect from you this season and why you would be a great addition to any professional team that wants to select you or bring you in. So close us with your final thoughts.
Man, expect something big this year, man. You might not see all the y'all might not see all the picks this year, but hey, there's gonna be a lot of different stuff going on. So just watch for my versatility, watch for the way I play, the way I move on film. Like it's gonna be something different this year. Even though I had the All American year last year, want to double it back, but there's gonna be something different this year. And for any team that wants to get me, I would just say I'm a great locker room guy. I'm a great leader. Um, I'll be a two-time captain this year. Um, I love the game, man. And so I I just love it. I love it so much, and I'm so passionate about it, man. I just want any team to know that I'm willing to do anything, whether it's special teams, offense, defense. I'm a very humble guy. I'm willing to play anywhere. I take constructive criticism well. I just want to be the best. And so, any team that's willing to get a linebacker that wants to do the best, be the best, that's me.
Well, hey, Micah, I do agree with you on all that. I mean, you could certainly be that guy. You could certainly be that guy who does make it to the NFL, potentially gets drafted as one of these small school guys that's getting drafted, which you're not seeing as many these days as you were maybe perhaps like 10, 12 years ago. So, but do think that will have an opportunity, and I want to wish you all the best this coming season. Okay.
Man, thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate it.
No problem, buddy. Once again, Micah Cretsinger, linebacker, Saginaw Valley State. Check him out this year.